Pop's jam.
Bobo's gravy.
Bobo's gravy.
Jojo's biscuits. Right? Okay. Are we like started?
Yeah.
Oh, hi guys.
Hey guys.
Hi friends, this morning we're going to be making Jojo's Biscuits. It's the very first recipe in the Magnolia Tables cookbook. To make this recipe, we're going to need buttermilk, self-rising flour, baking powder, baking soda, eggs, and butter. Let's get started. So to begin, I grabbed a large mixing bowl with a non-slip bottom. The recipe does call for 4 cups of self-rising flour, and I use the Daily Bread brand. You can use whatever brand that you have at home or that you can find at a store near you, but just make sure that it's self-rising. Then I added 2 tablespoons of baking powder and then just 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I actually practiced making these biscuits a week ago and I couldn't figure out why they were so disgusting. It turns out I actually added 2 tablespoons of baking soda to the batch. I did not make that mistake this time because it was so gross. Once I added those in, I whisked them with a brand new whisk I just bought from the Christmas tree shop. I love it. It's teal and silver. And I made sure that I whisked it really well. Then I grabbed 3 sticks of butter. The butter that I used is sea salted and it's by Vital Farms. The recipe does call for salted butter and that they need to be cut into like pea-sized cubes. Then I cut it into the dry mixture. The consistency afterwards was kind of like maybe rice or even peas, but the butter was definitely well mixed in. Then I set it aside and began to whisk 2 of the 3 eggs that the recipe calls for. And I measured out 1.5 cups of buttermilk, which, oh my gosh, smells so terrible. I first added in the whisked eggs with my wooden spoon, and I gave that a good go. Then I added in the 1.5 cups of buttermilk, a little bit at a time, and I again mixed that with my wooden spoon to make sure that the consistency was nice and doughy. I eventually had to start using my hands, and this is just simply because it was so sticky. And then it goes straight into the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes, but you can put it in there overnight if you are planning to make the biscuits in the morning. At about the 35-minute mark, I pulled them out, and you can see that the dough did seemingly rise a little bit, I think. I floured the surface of my bar, and then I began to pat the dough out so that I was able to pull at least 15 biscuits with my biscuit cutter. This took some time for sure, and this recipe, you're gonna need a lot of flour on the side because the dough is so very sticky. I think that just lends to how delicious it tastes when it's finally baked. Then I took that extra egg that I had on the side and I began to egg wash all of the biscuits that I had there. I did add a little bit of buttermilk in as well, so it was a buttermilk and egg mixture. And I had 16 biscuits, but one was like a wee miniature biscuit. Hey friends! So we just finished baking Jojo's Biscuits and we're gonna move on over to Pop Strawberry Jam. In order to create this recipe, you're gonna need 8 8-ounce canning jars, a canner or a large pot, a food processor, sugar, strawberries, pectin, and butter. Let's get to it. To start, I had to hull all the strawberries that I had, and I actually ended up with more strawberries than I needed for this recipe, but I thought, what the heck, it's jam anyway, so we'll put as many strawberries as I can get in there as possible. Another really good thing to do with strawberries is to cut them very thin and then add them into the oven. And oh my gosh, as they're baking, they smell so good. They smell like candy. Once I finished hulling them, I did add them into my blender, which acted as my food processor. I put a little bit in at a time, and this is just because my food processor is a little bit old and I wanted to make sure I had the right consistency. Once that was finished, I did take the blender and pour all of the strawberry puree along with some sugar and some butter into a saucepan and work cooked the sugar and the butter into the puree as it was over medium heat. This recipe has 7 cups of sugar in it, which I am so thankful I was able to get all that sugar from one place to another. I made a mess, but I was able to successfully add in all 7 cups of sugar. Once that was done, I added them to the cans and I gave them a water bath. I personally don't have a canner, so I used a very large pot and I was able to can them that way. Up next is Bobo's classic gravy, and to start this recipe, you're going to need milk, salt, all-purpose flour, pepper, and Jimmy Dean sausage. I prefer the hot sausage, so that's what I picked up. Let's get started. Once I cooked the hot sausage, I set them aside on a smaller plate, and then I measured out the cups of flour that I needed as well as the milk. So you'll note here that I'm working the milk in little by little, and in the meantime enjoying a delicious snack which tastes so good. I strongly recommend Jimmy Dean's hot sausage for this recipe. This is similar to the jam. I worked the milk and the flour in a little bit at a time. Once complete, this is what our setup looked like. I have the biscuits, the jam, and the gravy. And now it's time to test them.
Switch.
Want the knife?
Jam? Is it jam or jelly?
It's jam. It's jam because
What's the difference?
it has this thing called pectin in it, which is like a preservative, and
Does it just make it like thicker? Is jam thicker than jelly? Was one sweeter?
I think
one
She was
jam
explaining it.
jam has like tidbits of the original fruit in it, I'm pretty sure.
So jelly doesn't? Is jelly just?
Jelly's like completely pureed, if I had to guess.
You don't grow pickles.
That's actually
You
pretty.
bake pickles.
What is the meat in there?
It's
You'll just.
Jimmy Dean's hot sausage.
Oh.
Mmm. That's pretty good actually.
The hot
Okay, I'm
sausage.
gonna try the jelly first because I'm more of a jelly person than a.
That's another good question. Are you a jam or are you a gravy type biscuit?
I honestly think it really does depend on my mood, but normally it's gonna be jelly. Normally it's sweet. I like these biscuits though.
I'm always down for
Like they're like slightly a little dry, but like barely.
Mm-hmm.
They are,
But-
they're so good.
They got like a buttery flaky thing to them.
Yeah.
Right?
The
If-
flakiness is good.
So if these biscuits could only be used for gravy or only be used for
Oh, I
jelly,
didn't try
what like biscuit flavor complements it better? You know what I mean? Is it a biscuit made for gravy or is it a biscuit made for jelly based off the like consistency and texture?
Nothing really.
It's good, right?
I think both.
Both.
I think just go with both. Cause like, I think the buttery flaky goes really good with the jelly because it's like, do you know like it does? I don't know how to explain it. It does like the salt and the salty and sweet thing that you get like peanut butter and chocolate. You know what I mean? Like, it's very complimentary.
Final thoughts?
I pick jelly.
Really good. Yeah. I think
Yeah, jelly.
Thank you very much for coming. Oof. Okay, so this is a recipe by Magnolia.
Mm-hmm.
Magnolia, I'm counting on you because this better be good. So first we're gonna try the gravy. What you put in here?
So, thanks for asking. So that's Bobo's classic gravy. It has Jimmy Dean's hot sausage in it, some flour, and some milk. And you can salt it and add pepper to taste. I added a little bit of salt and pepper.
First I'm gonna try it without and then I'm gonna add it. You know? Yeah.
Of course, makes sense. Who eats a biscuit with a fork?
I'm from Russia. We don't eat biscuits. Okay. It's alright. Her recipe's okay. I like this right here.
What do you like about it?
It's got a very nice creamy texture. You know, a lot of like places you go to, they're like clumpy and it's, I don't know. But this is really good. So, I can't really describe the taste. I've been to a lot of places that sell biscuit and gravy. And this is, good job, Magnolia. Alright, we're gonna try the, what is it?
Hop strawberry jam.
Hop strawberry jam. Mmm, delicious. Okay. Okay, alright, just for you, I'm gonna do it with my hands. I'm just gonna pour it on and then we'll see.
Jam's not very good at pouring.
It's okay, don't worry.
Okay.
I'm from Russia, you know, we're gonna need this. Mmm. Whose recipe is this?
Same girl.
Same girl.
Same girl.
My girl, that's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna finish this real quick. You got some milk? Okay.
You want some milk? I can get you some.
Yes, I'll take some milk. Thank you.
Sure thing.
My question is, how did you come up with this recipe?
Well, it was.
I guess we'll find out after this video comes out, because we're gonna send it to her. Right?
Well, it's technically Pop's strawberry jam, so probably
Yeah, but I mean,
Pop's is
there's so many recipes. This is unique, because it's made from Magnolia. Why do they call her Magnolia?
They don't call her Magnolia. It's the business name's Magnolia.
What's her name?
Joanna.
Yeah. Joanna killing it out there. Maybe she'll give us like a little what do you call it? Like a cameo on the show.
I'd be down.
That would be wicked cool.
We're gonna pull some strings. We're gonna make this the best video ever. It's gonna happen. You get a spoon?
So if you had to determine if the biscuits are made more as a gravy biscuit or if they're made more for a jam, what would you say?
I would say that they're more for the jam. Definitely. Definitely. Do you have like do you want me to say anything else? Is there like a Mom, I love
Welcome
you?
to the show.
I'm John.
I'm Jake.
How you doing?
We're here to eat biscuits today. One would call us. I know you had to eat earlier. Biscuit Eaters Anonymous. We're here to judge some biscuits.
Hell yeah, we are.
Yes. Do you want me to cut some of yours?
No, I'm being man. I'll break it in half. Oh, you get.
I'm from like New Jersey, so it's like a little pizza. You know?
Oh, okay. I'm back.
Southern
So-
recipe. Definitely a southern recipe.
Definitely better than my mom's biscuits.
Just gonna try to spice this up first.
How is it?
Oh, that shit slaps.
For real?
I'm sorry. It's a very good jam.
Dude, it slaps hard, man.
I think the butter in the biscuit can do really well with the jam. You know? Some big ass bite.
The jam tastes like ice cream in my opinion.
Well, there's 7 cups of sugar, so.
Don't go up the sugar. That's a lot of love.
Did she tell you how much butter?
Alright. You do honors.
I'm just pour some on the side.
No, wait, this is Jake. Welcome to Biscuit Time. Can I get 2 claps in Ric Flair?
Hey friends, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your support, and special shout out to all the people who tried my jam, my biscuits, and of course my gravy. I really appreciate your support. Please give this video a thumbs up, and in the comments below, let me know whether you'd like to try the jam or the gravy, or maybe you're just a plain old biscuit person. That's fine too. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can get notified whenever I post more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.